Hi, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reading Carly Fortune's books. I think I'm going to be the cat's distracting me. Chapter 12 is 26 pages long. Our main character, their chemistry is everything. That's all. What just happened? Now, I had recently picked up One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, not realizing until someone commented on my video that it's the same universe as Every Summer After. And this book came out quite a while ago and I had never read it. I hadn't even picked it up and I found it at Meijer yesterday. I decided, okay, I'm gonna start this book because it's definitely like getting warmer out. It's sunny, it's nice. And we're gonna start this book and go straight into One Golden Summer. So I figured, why not film it for you guys? I will give my reviews, my ratings, my thoughts, everything like that in this video. However, before we get started, give this video a like and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss any more of my videos. And we're going to start reading Every Summer After. It's been a while since I've gone straight into like another book in the same world or the same series, and I'm excited because I'll already be interested and intrigued in living in this world that I'll get to go straight into One Golden Summer. Let's go. Time check, it is 9 o'clock on the dot. I am on page 109 of Every Summer After, chapter 8, and honestly, it is flying by. I could just be having a really good reading day, but I also think it could be that I'm enjoying the book because it is very enjoyable. I feel like it's putting me into that summer mindset of like the cottage in the warm weather, the lake. I'm enjoying it. I really have no notes. If I'm being honest, I don't think I have any negatives so far. I can already tell I don't like certain characters just based on how they're acting, but it's not like the main character or anything. Like, I love our main character. I love Sam. I think he's so darling, and getting that like back then versus now, I feel like it totally shows us how he is as a character, and I really like that. I think I'm gonna keep reading for a little bit and then that's the cat, sorry. I think I'm gonna be the cat's distracting me. I think I'm gonna keep reading for a little bit, but then I will end up going to bed. I need to be better about doing check-ins, but I've learned that the more I talk and the more I record when reading a book or multiple books in a video, it gets so long, and I'm trying to be better about that. So I'm kind of experimenting with different things. So this is my first check-in. I'm really thoroughly enjoying this book. Not any more than I thought I would. I felt like just based on the setting of this book, I was really gonna enjoy it right now. Tomorrow I do work 8 to 4, so depending on if I babysit or not, we'll probably go outside and I will continue reading. Let's keep reading for tonight and get farther through this book. Honestly, so far so good. This book is about 300 pages, so I'm already a third of the way through. I will note that these chapters are really long, and it helps that there's breaks because sorry, it keeps going out of focus. These chapters are pretty long. I would say like at least 8+ pages long, and there are breaks in the chapter, which makes it really nice. However, it does feel long at times because I just feel like that progress isn't getting made. But at the same time, I feel like I'm getting farther through the book because there are so many breaks. So just a little side note. Good evening. It's about 8:30 and I wanted to give a little update because I am on chapter 12, and I think the last time I talked to you was 2 nights ago. I read a little bit yesterday, and then I read an even littler amount today just because I've been working and I got really behind with work today. I just had so many patients, so many notes. So I really haven't gotten a ton of reading done. I am going to go read a little bit in bed. I definitely am really enjoying this book more than I thought I was going to. There are some parts that are either cringy, I kind of guessed, or they are just like sweet, and I do enjoy it. I think it definitely puts me in the like summery mood because of the whole lakeside cottage vibe that I'm getting. Because I know the next book is about Charlie, I'm almost like waiting for some of that to come up, but I don't know that it will. All I know is that Charlie has things going on. The author's kind of alluded to that, like he's going through something, he's not talking to anyone, but Sam thought he was talking to someone. I don't know. Anyway, without being spoiler, the whole chapters being long is so true, and I didn't think about that until I looked and I saw I was on chapter 12. Look at how far into the book I am. I'm more than halfway done, and it's more of the back in the day chapters. Like this one specifically is this chapter 12 is 26 pages long. 26 pages. I was thinking like, oh, maybe like 10. Yeah, 10 single pages, not front or back. It's 20. So I don't love that because I do feel like it's kind of dragging a little bit for me. However, I just have a little bit left. I will probably finish this book tomorrow, and then I'm hoping I will be done with the other book by the end of next week. So that is exciting, and it's the 28th, so we're almost done with May, and I do really want to wrap up some of these books. I also need to film other videos, so I've kind of been putting it off this week just because I've been so tired and this weekend was so busy. I will see you probably tomorrow when I keep reading, or unless something like crazy happens in the book. This is truthfully the best angle I can find with my phone, so I apologize. But I'm on lunch and I only read a little bit last night. I have about 30 more minutes before my lunch is over, and we'll see how far I get. I turned down my brightness in case someone comes over by the car because I don't want them to see that I'm recording. Charlie's kind of being rude right now. I am kind of excited to see Charlie's quote-unquote redemption arc after what I just read, because it has to improve somehow. I have to believe, but yeah, I don't know. It just got weird vibes right quick, and it wasn't just me because Percy felt the same way. And I'm glad Percy's standing up for herself. Here and there, there's some things she's doing that's kind of irritating me, but in this specific scenario, she made the right call, I think. We found out the big climactic moment that happened 12 years ago, and I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting that, and I don't know if it's just because I didn't think it was gonna be such like a big thing. I thought it was just like, oh, they're going away to college, blah blah blah, they're sad about it. No, it's like a big thing that happened, and now I understand like what we're working up towards in the past kind of chapters. But yeah, I was listening a little bit on Spotify. However, this next chapter says it's 43 minutes long on audiobook, which is just absolutely ridiculous. There are about, yeah, there's 18 chapters and I'm on chapter 16. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the book, and then I will talk to you either tomorrow morning or tonight. It just depends on how tired I am. So. It was a cute ending. I'll talk more tomorrow, but I'm gonna go to bed. But it was cute. Good morning. It is the next day, and I finished Every Summer After last night. I kind of made a mention that I thought the ending was really cute, and I stand by that. I do think it was really adorable. There were some things throughout the book that I didn't absolutely love. I don't know if it was just me getting that vibe, or maybe it's because I read this so long after it came out, but it felt like The Summer I Turned Pretty to me. I don't know why. I never read that book, but I did watch the series on TV, and it was giving me such strong similarities. And I know it's like summer, it's at the cottage, and there's two brothers, and there's that romance, but there were just some parts that I was like, I feel like this is exactly what happens in The Summer I Turned Pretty. And it was fine. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's just, I think that took away some of its uniqueness, or a book that really makes it stand out to me. It didn't really do that. And it's not that it was a bad book. I want to emphasize that. It was a really, really cute and fun and honestly quick paced, for how long the chapters are, kind of book. Yeah, I read it so fast, and when I would read it, it just felt like I just would fly through it. With that being said, some things to note without it being spoiler. I made some notes on my phone. So the first thing is that I love a second chance, friends to lovers kind of plot, or I forget the word, but that's like one of my favorite tropes. That's the word. So friends to lovers, second chance, that is this book. That really helped because I love that kind of trope in a book. I just think it's so cute, so wholesome. Now, Percy, our main character, I didn't love her, and I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say anything at the beginning because I didn't know if that would change. After finishing the book, I did not like Percy. I think her character herself, I didn't love her choices or her thought process behind certain things. The huge plot twist and that thing that I mentioned that leads up to what happened, I think it ruined the story in the sense that I didn't love that relationship at the end. Now, I did say it was cute because what takes place at the end kind of makes up for that. And I thought it was really adorable and just genuine. Their relationship, because you get it through the years, you see how close they were and how similar Sam and Percy were. It just tugs on my heart a little bit because I thought that was really cute. Charlie, I am interested already to go into One Golden Summer because I want to see that story. Absolutely. And a part of me wonders if I'm gonna like it more. I'm gonna save my rating for this book until after. That way I get a good comparison of like storyline. As a story as a whole, I'll talk about it as well. But as a kind of like series, I'll also talk about that. I did not get very emotional throughout this book. The last part that I filmed was actually the only time that I cried in the entire book. Now, there were some sad moments that occurred, but it happened in a way that I was not that attached, so it didn't really affect me. Yeah, I think the biggest things that are keeping this a little bit lower on my rating is Percy, her choices, and some of the situations that took place, but I don't want to spoil. We are going to get into One Golden Summer. This takes place with Charlie's perspective, and I will say in Every Summer After, he was kind of irritating me. That made me a little nervous because I was like, why is he so rude? Like, he came off so rude at times, but then towards the end, some of the pages that I tabbed, I forgot, this is not the book. Towards the end of Every Summer After, I was dog-earing, and some of those pages were because of him and how you really saw his personality and his emotion come out, which you didn't get to see in the entirety of the book until that point. And I really enjoyed that, and I'm excited to go into the next book. So let's pick up that one and start reading. I do work, so we'll see how much I get done today. I'm not sure. When I tell you I have not opened this book until right now, look at the inside of this cover. So I was like, I thought this was stunning. No, I have not personally saw a paperback like this. That is so cute. I love that. And then there's one in the back. Okay, we're gonna start this right now. Balta is going to be here at, let me look, in about 40 minutes. So I wanna get as much reading as I can done before he gets here, because then we're gonna go out to eat. I already cleaned and everything. That's why I haven't been able to start this, but I'm excited. Let's do it. The dedication says, "To the lake, to the hills, to the sky." Cute. Already, the chapters definitely seem smaller, which is promising because I feel like that's going to keep me hooked a little bit longer. I don't know. I'm only on chapter 3, but we'll see. Hello guys, it has been quite a few days later. It is now Monday, and I think it's more of a me thing, but I have been struggling to read. I don't know what it is. I'm on chapter 12, so it's not that I haven't read anything. I'm about 80 pages in, but it is 7 o'clock. I want to read 100 pages today. So I'm gonna go lay down and I'm gonna try my best. A moment of appreciation for these gorgeous, gorgeous flowers that my boyfriend got me this past weekend. They are stunning. Look at them. They're so beautiful. Okay, on to reading. I think one thing that's hard for me is that I'm a little under 100 pages in and we're still getting a lot of the character developmental introduction and not so much the plot of the story. So I think that's partially why I'm struggling. I could be wrong, but I feel like Every Summer After, to me, felt like it got right into the whole point because of what happens at the start of that book, versus this, it's kind of a slow, gradual climb, and that's making it hard. I have to say, it's so hard to know if I've talked a lot in this vlog or if it's been more reading. It's so hard to remember what I filmed, but I want to say I'm actually loving this book way more than I did in the first like 10-ish chapters. I do feel like it started off a little slow because there wasn't a lot of storyline happening until I would say after that like first 10 chapters, then it started coming in. But one thing to know, I've always loved Charlie, and specifically like in this book because of the end of that book. I wouldn't say I loved him in the entire first book because he was a jerk some of the time, but throughout this entire book I have loved him and their relationship. I've also loved that, and I don't think I've mentioned that. Current me just has to say that I've loved Charlie and his whole growth story, and Alice, like just their relationship alone and their banter and their chemistry is everything. That's all, okay? Back to the book. What just happened? I love how visual Carly's writing is. Like, every single thing she says, I illustrate a picture in my mind, and I absolutely love that. It's so beautiful. Okay, but what? What does she mean? No spoilers, no spoilers. It's all making sense now. It's so cute. I just finished. It's time to go to bed, so I'll see you in the morning. Last night I finished One Golden Summer, and now we're gonna end out this video talking about the 2 books that I read by Carly Fortune. So let's get into the first one and talk a little bit about my positives as well as some of my negatives with this book. This takes place over 6 summers at a lake called Barry's Bay, and it's a childhood friends to lovers, kind of like a second chance type of novel. I did really enjoy the visual aspect of this book. It took me right into summer. I felt like I was there at the cottage, and I absolutely adored Carly's writing in the sense that, I kind of mentioned this last night, but every single thing she says, I'm able to visualize so vividly in my mind and paint a picture. And as a reader, that is very important to me and important to my reading when I'm going through a book. Because if I can't visualize anything, what's the point of reading it? Few positives. I loved the friends to lovers aspect. That's one of my favorite tropes, along with like second chance. Some things that I didn't love in particular was our main character. Percy got on my nerve a few times throughout the book, just with the way she would complain, I guess you can say, or just her choices were so bad throughout the book. The ending, I feel like, really did not do her justice because I didn't love her towards the end of the book. Now, Sam, I thought he was such a humble and cute male character. He was so sweet when they first met, and there were so many things specifically that I annotated because of him. Now, without spoiling anything, I did love the ending of the book, but I didn't love Percy's story. I feel like she kind of went down at the end and it just wasn't great. So it's kind of hard to give specific detail, but if you want a good and fast summer read, this book is great. Like I said, it takes place over so many years at the cottage, and it puts you right into that summer feeling. I felt like I was at the lake every day with these people. So this book I would rate between a 4 and a 4.5 star. It's not a 5 because there's other books that I loved every aspect of it, and there were a few notes from this one that took it down a little bit. I still highly recommend it. I loved the medical terminology because Sam wants to be a cardiologist, and if you didn't know, I'm in the medical field, so I could relate to some of the things that he was learning about, or when he was in university, how stressful that is. I totally understood everything like that. So loved that. Let's move on to the next book. One Golden Summer. I feel like I went through a whirlwind with this book, a roller coaster, if you will. I simply loved it. I loved it. And when I first started, I didn't feel as strong as I did once I got about a third of the way through, and it just picked up. My emotions on the entire story, I feel like, evolved and changed. And Charlie, I love that I read these books back to back, because when I say that he was a little bit of a jerk in the first book, he sure was. He was a playboy, okay? So now that he's so grown, he's done just that. He's grown up so much, and you've really seen the character development and his personal development and growth. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Alice, our female main character, I loved her as well. I loved her personality. I loved her job. I loved her humor, in the sense that, like, her and Charlie, there were so many similarities and they truly fit together like a glove. It was beautiful. And every aspect really of this book, because it wasn't just Alice and Charlie that I loved, it was Nan and Charlie that I loved, and there was so much tension, but yet there was flirtiness, and I just did not want to put the book down. This was definitely my favorite book of the two, if you couldn't tell. Again, with the visualization and the picturing and just the artistry in her words to put me in that yellow boat, to put me in the jet ski and jumping off the mountain. Guys, read this book. It is so good. Even if you've read Every Summer After years ago, pick up this book and read it, because if you liked that, I feel like you are gonna like this even more. This was a 5-star for me. I don't give 5 stars that easily or that often, but when I think about this book and every emotion I felt in it, and now was there aspects that I was just like, oh, okay, like, I feel like it's not picking up, or maybe I'm not loving it the way I thought I would. That's because we were still getting the character development and the introductions to Alice and her family, because we hadn't read about them before. But seeing the similarities, because this again is kind of like a past and present type of book, there's not as much previous storyline because there wasn't a lot to give, but you still get those feelings that she had years ago when she saw them across the lake, and you're remembering all of those moments. In the first book, you meet Persephone and Sam in this book, so it's just, there were so many things that I loved. The tension, the angst, and it was just beautiful. Highly recommend One Golden Summer. This is probably one of my favorite summer books. And first of all, the cover itself should have told you that. And I never even realized until I opened the book that there's the illustrated covers on the inside. So honestly, I'm so glad that I read a Carly Fortune book, because if I hadn't, I would have never met this book. At least I would say it was probably going to be very unlikely. Guys, 5 stars. Absolutely phenomenal book, and I love Charlie Florek and I love Alice Everly. That's it. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and let me know your own opinions down below. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you have not read these books, pick them up this summer. You will feel so light and free. Anyway, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.